welcome to the Kindertransport Legacy Collective. I'm here with Emanuel Rund in Jerusalem. Hello, Emanuel.
Hi, good evening, good day to you.
Yeah, it's great to see you. How's
Yeah.
how's everything in Jerusalem these days?
Very good, no complaints. There's no time to complain. And as far as Corona, we are fine. There was some problematic few weeks, but now it's better. And I hope they'll open the gates soon to everybody. And
Fantastic. Good to
yeah,
hear. Good to
yeah,
hear. You look healthy and strong. I want to jump
right,
right into the Kindertransport. I want to talk about the legacy of the Kindertransport and the
right,
opportunity that we have right now.
right.
Um, I know you have a lot going on in terms of what you'd like to share and also the knowledge base that you have. Perhaps you can give us one or two key points that you think are really relevant to today and what's happening today in the world, and why it's so important for us to share the story of transport.
Yeah, sure. I've written about it, and this is that the situation in Afghanistan. And when, excuse me, you see on TV a man handing over his baby to an American soldier in a truck or about beyond the yard or whatever, and not knowing what will happen to that baby, and the soldier doesn't know who the father or who the family are unless they left a message, a note. And this reminds me of the Kindertransport, where 10,000 children, so let's say 7,000 parents gave away one or two children, usually, to people they knew they'll go to England, but they didn't know anything. Besides, the parents didn't know what will happen with themselves. It's a Holocaust, and they don't know their fortune and destiny. And then when I think about the Jews in Poland who gave their children to the church or to neighbors, and again, not knowing, in many cases, they didn't return also. So what happened to these children? I have some personal stories of people that I have filmed, a mother and her son going to Poland, and they find their son in a church, but he is a Christian. He doesn't want to go with them to New York. He doesn't want to be Jewish. I filmed a lady in Manhattan who, a German police officer in Warsaw, fell in love with her. And he helped her to smuggle children out of the Warsaw Ghetto until the Nazis found out, and they sent him to the Eastern Front just to get killed over there. But he returned to Warsaw and continued to help. And then they stuck a revolver in his head and shot him, the Gestapo. And so there are many cases of such children. I'm very lucky. I grew up in Jerusalem during a war of independence, where 7 armies fought us Jews, 500,000 Jews in Israel. And the Palestinian Arabs from all around Jerusalem were fighting, well, our parents' generation, from all directions, north, south, east, west. And they cut off the water supply, the water pipe. They shot at all convoys that tried to bring some food, bread, to Jerusalem. So we had very hard time, but thank God we survived. Our parents' generation were able to defend Jerusalem and to defend Israel. But God forbid if it would have been that they would conquer us, what would be my parents' decisions what to do with me. So I'm glad that we didn't have to go through that. And besides that, the Rommel, the Nazi field marshal in northern Africa, fought the British, and the fear was that he will cross Egypt and enter to so-called British Mandate Palestine. And Hajj Amin al-Husseini, the Muslim Mufti of Jerusalem, promised Hitler in Berlin that he will burn the 500,000 Jews in Israel, or will take some of them to march them in death march to Auschwitz. So, well, we are glad that all that terrible scenario didn't happen. And but I'm thinking about myself, what would have been, my situation in that case.
Unbelievable. Well, you're a filmmaker, and as a filmmaker, we have a unique have an opportunity to tell the story, of Kindertransport, either as a documentary or as a blockbuster movie, because the hidden legends, the Wilfred de Israels, are the story. The story tells like James Bond, and it tells like Cabaret, and it tells like this almost mystical art collector who was friends with Gandhi, who was friends with Weitzman, with Martin Buber, amassed a huge art collection. And I want to hear from the people listening, if they could share with us, maybe. Tell us what your interest is. Do you want a documentary movie that's going to tell the story, the history of the Kindertransport, or do you want an exciting movie that's gonna passionately tell the story? Emanuel, I know it's in your bloodstream to be the documentarian, and I don't know what the proper pathway is, but I'm excited. I'm excited to be part of the legacy. I'm putting here the link for the group, the Facebook group, which is growing phenomenally. We have a Facebook page which almost naturally is over 100 people already, and we're really excited. And we're going to be making an offer soon. We're going to be making an offer that each person who becomes part of the collective will receive an amazing coin, a coin that will tell the story in blue and white. It's metal and very strong, and that's going to create a legacy. People are going to actually hold on to the Kindertransport Legacy, and by being part of the foundation of the movement, and ultimately the creation of the museums, because people need to see, hear, and be a part of it. That will become an amazing education. So we're really excited. I hope that the people that are watching, the people that are sharing, the people that are active participants will really embrace this message and come forward. Emanuel, will you give us some words of wisdom from Torah, or maybe give us some words of wisdom from the experience of what we're going through relative to the legacy that the incredible history you have documented?
So is there anybody out there to share words with us?
I don't see any comments yet, but
Okay.
they'll come through once the recording goes up, because it's spontaneously being shared with on different channels. So I'll send those questions to you, and we can address them next Sunday as we move forward with the community. But I'd love for you to close with maybe some knowledge, some wisdom that people can carry forward with them into the week.
Yeah, for example, the sacrifice that some people in our community in the world do take in order to help or save other people. In case of Wilfried Israel, he had to go to the Gestapo, although he knew some of the people, and being gay, he possibly had some relations with some men. But just going to the Gestapo, you don't know if you'll come out. They might just shoot you on the spot or whatever. They can do with you whatever they want. I also worked on a story of Recha Freyer from Zurich, Switzerland. She saved thousands of Jews from Europe, and also she had to go to the Gestapo. And you never know what can happen to you. Could be that the SS man or the Gestapo officer had bad day that day, and he just he feels like sadistically just to shoot her to see how she falls down. And so, can you imagine the fear of having into the lion's den? That's something that people should think about. What do they do? What do they sacrifice today or yesterday, and for whatever causes? And thank God we don't have to really sacrifice. We can help people without sacrificing our lives, but just the fact to go and help other people. When you think about Moses in the Bible, about Isaiah, Jeremiah, when you think about Theodore Herzl, for example, he gave everything that he had, his family, his money, well, wife's money, Julie, and gave everything to create a state, Israel, and he managed, despite the fact that so many people in the Jewish community were against him, and they showed him, telling him whatever they told him, they bashed him, and so, where other people, do we know people around us who go out of the way to do, not for, to get a prize, shelo al menat lekabel pras, to go out and do some things just for the sake of doing something?
Right.
Well, I can brag a little bit. I've done things for Holocaust survivors in America, in Israel, in Germany, and I didn't look at the dollar sign over there. And but the love that I got from survivors who would hug me and cry on my shoulders, that was priceless. You cannot sell it for millions. And but then again, also we have to educate people to take Wilfried Israel as somebody to look at, or other people, and also to do something for other people, not only for themselves.
Incredible. Incredible. There's a huge chesed opportunity. There's a huge merit to being a part of the collective, and there's a huge merit to allowing us to create this legacy. Thank you so much for joining us today. Emanuel, thank you for being available in Jerusalem. And
Right.
I look forward to making things happen. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make things happen. So blessings to everyone. Shavua Tov. Should have a healthy week.
Tell them how to look for the website, Facebook, and how to get to the next interview or whatever, or next Zoom.
Be a part. We can have up to 10 people in the conversation. So
Okay.
please join us in the studio next week, and put up here now the Facebook, the Kindertransport Legacy, and you can join the Facebook page, and there's tremendous content being shared there already, and we're going to keep putting up more information. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Emanuel, and Shavua Tov.
Regards from Jerusalem.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.